Hi, I'm Laura Rigell. I'm the Solar Manager at the Philadelphia Energy Authority. Today I'll be sharing about solar in Philadelphia, as well as some of our other housing programs at the Philadelphia Energy Authority that are helping drive demand for clean energy and energy efficiency work. And then I'll share about our workforce development programs that are training young Philadelphians to meet the growing employer demand in these fields. At the Energy Authority, we really see our work in clean energy as a tool for impact to get at some of the issues that are facing Philadelphia, including our need for economic development, with Philadelphia being the poorest big city in the US, as well as improving public health, both through indoor air quality, outdoor air quality, and our impact on climate change. Our work as a whole is really rooted, though, in job creation. We launched the Philadelphia Energy Campaign in 2016 as a job creation platform with the leadership of Council President Clark. The Energy Campaign is about investing $1 billion over 10 years and creating 10,000 jobs. It's focused on 4 sectors, and at this point we have programs and projects active in each of those sectors. I've included some highlights here and our progress to date as of 2019. We've invested $136 million through projects in the campaign so far and created 1,300 jobs. I'll be speaking about a few of these projects in more detail, including Solarize Philly, but I'll also just mention here that projects that I won't be touching on, but have been quite significant in the local clean energy economy are the $12 million retrofit of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, which reduced energy consumption there by 25%, and $50 million of school energy makeovers that we conducted in partnership with the district at 3 high schools, and we're supporting them to roll that program out to additional schools moving forward. We also run a water and sewer line protection program and have 85,000 households enrolled in that program at this time. 2019 was a big year for solar and clean energy in Philadelphia. With the leadership of Philadelphia City Council, there were several initiatives passed last year that I'd just like to highlight now to show the ways in which Philadelphia has really been stepping up to lead on these issues. Philadelphia City Council, under Councilwoman Reynolds Brown's leadership, established the Philadelphia Solar Rebate, which is a grant program for property owners to install solar on their rooftops. To date, we've administered this program on behalf of the Office of Sustainability, and we dispersed $250,000 of rebate funds through FY20. The program was not renewed for funding in FY21, but that could be reconsidered as the city recovers from COVID-related budget cuts. I'll jump over a couple others, but the one I do want to mention here is Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy, which is a new financing tool that was enabled by City Council in 2019. The PEA is also administering this program on behalf of the city, and to date we've, recently in the past month actually have had our first 2 CPACE financed projects signed in the city. These are unique in that the property owner for commercial property is able to finance an investment in clean energy or energy efficiency at the property through an assessment on the property's value. Now, this allows them to access lower cost capital than they might otherwise have access to, and the obligation carries with the property, not the owner. So in the commercial sector, sales happen often, and so with clean energy projects, you really want the term of the financing to match the payback period. CPACE enables you to do that so that you can set up a term so that the project is cash flow positive from the start. I know that many people watching this are probably familiar with how solar works, but as a solar manager, I figure it's appropriate to just give a quick rundown of the technology before I dive into the solar programs that I'll be highlighting during the presentation. So just quickly, we're focused on solar photovoltaic installations. So these are panels as pictured it right that convert sunlight into electricity. So the sun hits the panels and activates electrons. So electricity flows through an inverter to convert into AC, which can be used to power the home. The electricity then flows into the home and powers whatever base load is being used at the time. And then any excess electricity, so on a sunny day, if you're producing more than you're using in that moment, the extra electricity will flow back onto the grid. And then during nighttime or on a cloudier day, when you're not producing as much as you're consuming or not producing anything like at night, then you are still connected to the electric grid. You draw from the grid through a process called net metering. You're able to use the credits that you fed out onto the grid earlier to offset that expense. So you're basically able to use those credits that you banked during the sunny days to cover your electricity needs when your solar is not producing. So the goal of a solar installer is they're looking at your house and doing an assessment based on your electricity demand is to put enough modules, solar panels up on your roof to offset your total usage over the course of a year. So there may be some months when you're producing more and other months when you're producing less than you're using. But all in, we're seeing many Philadelphia homeowners are able to offset 100% of their electricity usage with solar installed on their rooftop. Another important piece to be aware of when you're thinking about solar is that the costs have come down significantly over the past 10 years. You'll see here where things were at as of 2018, according to the Department of Energy, compared to 2010. So you'll see that at this point, solar has really become cost competitive with conventional electricity, which in Philadelphia runs about 13 to 14 cents a kilowatt hour for a residential and slightly lower than that for commercial. For a homeowner considering going solar, there's a few options for how to cover the upfront cost. We see some people pay cash and cover that total cost up front. Costs can range $10,000 to $20,000. Others don't have that money that they can invest up front, so they choose to take out a loan, either a home equity loan or an unsecured solar loan to cover the cost. And we're seeing that when people finance those over 15 to 20-year terms, they're able to set it up so that the monthly loan payment is less than what they were paying previously on their electric bill. So this really just emphasizes what I shared a moment ago, that solar is now cost competitive with conventional electricity. So we're really out to dispel the myth that solar is expensive, because at this point, it's really come into reach for many, many households. You're able to basically shift what's currently an expense in your household into an investment in clean energy in your property. For commercial, I mentioned CPACE, and PPAs are listed here as another option across all of these sectors. So PPAs are a power purchase agreement where solar is installed either on your site or off-site in the case of utility scale solar, and you sign a contract to buy the power that's generated from that array over a certain period of time. And in a PPA scenario, typically you don't need to put any money down up front. So that's what's appealing about that model. Quickly, I'll mention the solar incentives that are available currently. There's a 26% investment tax credit available currently at the federal level, steps down to 22% in 2021, and then 10% moving forward for commercial in 2022. There's also accelerated depreciation available, which just really applies to commercial projects. And then in Pennsylvania, we have solar renewable energy credits that are generated for every 1,000 kilowatt hours you produce. You can sell those on a market to support utilities in meeting the clean energy benchmarks that have been set by the state. We've seen solar growing across all scales here in Pennsylvania. So I'm going to start with utility scale solar, then highlight a commercial solar install that happened recently, and then dive into residential solar before shifting over to talking about our workforce development programs. The reason I'm starting just quickly with these solar projects is that they are what's driving the demand for solar workers. So it's really critical that we focus on growing the demand for clean energy so that there is a need for more and more people to be joining the green economy. Philadelphia was a leader in cities across the country. Philly has made a commitment to uphold the Paris Climate Accord and move towards 100% renewable energy, and in that process, signed the largest municipal solar power purchase agreement in the country. An 80 megawatt project is going to be built out in central Pennsylvania in Adams County that will power 22% of the city's electricity needs. We do have a workforce development commitment built into this project as part of the economic opportunity plan, where the developer, Community Energy, committed to taking on 15 trainees from Philadelphia to have learning opportunities on the job site in Adams County. Luckily, since it's only a few hours away, this becomes possible for Philadelphians to participate in the actual construction process. You'll see here a flyer from an event where they were recruiting MWDBE firms to participate in the project. So we're looking to have Philadelphia-based contractors doing the work and Philadelphia-based workers and trainees on site to build the solar farm that will power city buildings. Penn followed quickly on the city's footsteps by signing a 220 megawatt array. So really blowing us out of the water. We were, for a month or so, had enabled the largest solar farm in the Commonwealth, but we were certainly one-upped by Penn, which is excellent. That will power 75% of the campus and hospital electricity. So now I'll shift over to commercial solar. So just quickly, I'll highlight here, we had one project completed recently that was of particular significance. It was the project at Sono, which is a building at 5th and Spring Garden that houses the City Archives and Yards Brewery. This project was installed by Solar States in partnership with Armour & Sons Electric, and it was workers who had gone through Philadelphia's solar training programs that actually did this installation. It's one of the largest projects in Philadelphia and is visible from I-95, was supported from a grant from the state. So Governor Tom Wolf participated in the virtual press conference about the project, which you can view on philaenergy.org. This is one example of the growing interest in commercial solar in Philadelphia, and we're seeing an uptick of interest, especially with CPACE now enabled here in Philly. One of our marquee initiatives at PEA has been Solarize Philly. We kicked this program off in 2017 to really drive residential demand for solar here in Philadelphia. We knew that many homeowners in Philly still saw solar as out of reach, like I mentioned earlier, but the costs had come down so that they were cost competitive with what people are paying on their electric bill. Wanted to get the word out about that and encourage more businesses to be doing solar business in Philadelphia. So we launched Solarize Philly in 2017 with support from the Department of Energy's Solar in Your Community Challenge, and we've had remarkable success with it. To date, Solarize Philly is actually the largest Solarize campaign in the United States. As of the end of phase 3 last year, we had 654 contracts signed, totaling a $10 million investment in Philadelphia's clean energy economy. We track direct job creation through Solarize Philly, and as of 2019, 94 jobs have been created as a result of the homeowners going solar through this program. You'll see here, just during Philadelphia Solar Week, which we just held in August, we had 11 of our prior participants actually create virtual solar home tours of their projects. They shared about their experience going solar, and this is also available at philaenergy.org if you're interested to hear from the participants themselves. A key component of Solarize Philly is making sure that all Philadelphians can go solar. We run the Solar Savings Grant Program as part of the Solarize Philly initiative to support low and moderate income households in particular to go solar. This program is actually supported by program fees we collect from Solarize Philly projects. We're able to collect a program fee from each Solarize Philly installation while still getting the participant below market rate pricing. So the program as a whole, I should mention, is open right now for signups through September 30th of 2020. So I encourage you to go to solarizephilly.org to get a free assessment of your home. And if you qualify for our Solar Savings Grant Program, you can indicate that there at solarizephilly.org, and we can review you for this particular grant program we've put together. So this is really competitive offering. We assembled for households under 80% area median income. We're not looking for any FICO minimum or debt to income requirements. Instead, we're just looking that the household has been on time with their electric bill payments for the past 12 months. You'll see here a sample proposal through our Solar Savings Grant Program, which you can see the system price is already reduced below market price for these households due to an incentive payment we provide to our partner installers, Solar States, to drive that price down. We're also purchasing the solar renewable energy credits, which I mentioned earlier, upfront for these projects in order to create additional discount in the upfront cost. And then for the remainder of the cost, we're connecting participants to loans via the National Energy Improvement Fund. These are actually being funded by Centennial Parkside CDC. So it's a really unique partnership between a local nonprofit, a lender, and PEA, government agency, to make solar possible and in reach for low and moderate income households. We've set it up so that every participant will be paying less on a monthly basis starting in year one through going solar with the pilot program. So now I'm going to shift and briefly mention another program we have up and running at PEA, which is in the works now, called Built to Last. So Built to Last is really all about connecting housing and health issues. So I thought it would be remiss not to mention, but just quickly, I'll say that pictured here is a house which had received a grant through the city's Basic Systems Repair Program. There's a whole landscape of housing repair initiatives and grant programs available in the city of Philadelphia. And we know that each of them alone are not getting at the deep issues facing low-income homeowners in Philadelphia. So we set out to create a program that would allow homeowners to really stay in place and have a home that's really livable and healthy and safe, as well as affordable, so that they can stay for the long term. So our Built to Last initiative is a platform to support this goal. And we'll be doing a pilot of our first 100 homes for holistic house retrofits in 2021. We're seeking funding for that now. I should mention we also have another program available for multifamily affordable housing. So you can certainly reach out to us if you know of any multifamily affordable housing developers who are interested in making their buildings healthier and more affordable through energy retrofits. So this is the process through Built to Last, but really just the important takeaway here is that we're integrating a whole different set of interventions and doing it through a single entry point and a single one single process. So a homeowner will just submit one application and be screened for their eligibility for all of the available programs rather than having to go to each agency separately. And then we'll be doing a single audit to identify all of the home needs in one go, and then doing coordination through the construction process. So currently the homeowner needs to go to a different utility or different housing program and get put on a different length of wait list for these types of services, and now it'll be done in a unified way through a single platform. These are the types of improvements we anticipate including in Built to Last homes. And this is why I really thought it would be important to mention as part of this conference is that we really have built a robust coalition of groups to support Built to Last, including many from the health sector. So we're aligned with the folks listed on this slide, as well as others who are in support of Built to Last and helping us build out this platform. So to conclude, I will comment now on our workforce development initiatives. So alongside our work to implement clean energy projects in Philadelphia, we've seen a growing demand by local employers for trained workers to join the clean energy workforce. Starting in 2017, we started working with the School District of Philadelphia to really meet that employer demand through training high schoolers in the basics of solar installation. So you'll see here, we've trained 76 students since 2017 through introductory high school cohorts, through Work Ready, working with Solar States as our partner trainer. And we're really scaling it up now. We've hit a major milestone this September. We just launched the first ever vocational solar program in Pennsylvania at Frankfort High School. So that launched at the start of this school year. We supported the school district to seek state approval to unlock federal funding to offer this new curriculum we've built out with a whole set of partners, including ECA, so I'm glad they're joining on this panel, as well as Solar States and the Philadelphia Education Fund. We've expanded our curriculum from approximately 120 hours to 1,080 hours. So it's increased by about a factor of 10. And this curriculum, like every CTE program, career and technical education program, offered in Pennsylvania, will be offered over a 3-year period between 10th and 12th grade, where students receive daily instruction in solar energy. The district has now brought on the first solar teacher at Frankfort High School, where the program will be housed. We're building out a solar lab there, similar to the one pictured here at ECA. Though the students started virtually, they'll be moving into that lab for hands-on training as soon as is possible. We have a parallel track for opportunity youth. In addition to our work with high school students and the school district, we wanted to make sure that young adults, particularly those who are not in school or employed, are also able to enter the growing solar industry. We partnered with PowerCore PHL and Youth Build Philly to build out this fellowship program, and we had our first 12 fellows graduate in May, and we are placing them into jobs now after they just completed summer internships. So before I conclude, I just want to say we know solar installer is the fastest growing occupation in the country, and we want to make sure that Philadelphians are at the table and able to step into these positions. So we've set out to fill the gap around youth training. We really see our work as complementary with that of ECA's adult solar training program, as well as Philadelphia OIC's adult training program. Make sure we have a whole consortium and partnership that's creating a pipeline of trainees to enter the growing solar workforce here in Philadelphia. Before wrapping up, I just want to include the faces of our recent graduates. This is the cohort of 12 who completed the intensive PowerCore PHL fellowship, the first of its kind offered in Philadelphia. And here are the students who just completed our last summer introductory program through Work Ready. And pictured here are some of the students from this past winter who were learning about the new program at Frankfort. So they were 9th graders looking to enroll in the 10th graders in the program. So I'm excited to keep you all posted on the progress here, and feel free to reach out with any questions. I've listed my contact information on the slide. Thank you.